happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look, when you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look.
I'm Nolan Buzansky.
And I'm Max Gledhill.
And welcome to the Transcript. This week, the Transcript looks at the phone policy crackdown,
Investigates the results of primary elections.
Hamped Up checks out the golf team's winning streak,
Hotspots visits a classic vintage shop in town.
and Cheap Thrills goes to the newly returning event, Taste of Northampton.
What's up, guys? I'm Dad Castle. I quit football. I'm pursuing golf now. I'm here at the PGA Championship. Hope to take first place home. But yeah.
Out of all the sports teams at NHS, the golf team has been one of the most consistently successful teams in recent years. With only one loss in the past 2 years, the golf team looks to keep up their postseason streak without missing a beat. We spoke to kids on the team about their expectations for the upcoming year and how they think they'll be able to carry on success from previous years to this year.
Losing the seniors hasn't impacted the team as much as it probably could have. They provided a really good sense of leadership, and they were ready to just really step up when it was needed, but we have players that are having a really good start to their season and are ready to take their spot scoring wise. And as far as results are showing, we haven't had as much of an impact as their loss as we probably should have. So that's
Fortunately, I haven't really had to do that much since we had an undefeated season last year and we only had our first loss this year. They're very good players. They know when they're doing something wrong and how they're doing it. So they really just fix it and get ready for the next match.
I think we can definitely win Western Mass. We have a lot of talent, and if we can just refine a couple things leading into the postseason, we can be a contender. And as for states, we'll see when we get there.
I definitely think we're going to be able to get to Western Mass again and hopefully win and hopefully beat states this year, which we weren't able to do last season.
Thanks for watching, and tune in next week when we talk about leadership on cross country.
As we kick off the new school year with our new classes, we are also seeing a new phone policy. The policy implements a system that starts with a warning if your phone is seen out in class. The second time it is seen, an email will be sent home, and the third time will result in an admin write-up. We talked to department heads and students to get their opinions on the past phone policy now being enforced.
I've been using the phone caddy, which we used, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. But I've been using that, asking students to place their phones in the caddy at the start of class, and that has been overwhelmingly successful. Teenagers and adults, everybody is addicted to their phone, and so much to the point where people don't even know that they have their phone out, and it really disrupts education, and it's very hard to focus on two things at the same time.
I really do agree with the policy. for the most part. I have made a recommendation to the administration that we consider being a little bit more lax with the policy during all flex blocks. Right now, teachers are probably inconsistently enforcing the policy during flex. I would prefer that students be able to check in with their email, check in with their text messages, send texts to friends, family, whatever. During flex, I think if we allow that, then students would be more likely to adhere to the policy during regular classes.
It's not necessarily a new policy, but my experience with the high school is that it was not enforced previously, and actually enforcing it this year, I think that they're a little over their heads with it, because trying to enforce such a large policy so quickly, my personal feeling is that it's not necessarily going to last. I think that a better way to enforce the phone policy might be to have it teacher by teacher. I think the school-wide aspect of it, of having administration involved so heavily, can make it feel pretty overwhelming to students. I think that it can be a little scary to have administration feeling so like involved in your just like what you're doing in class. So I think that if it was more just teacher to teacher, but teachers were enforcing it a little more than they have been in the past, that might be a little better.
I think it probably will last. So far, on only the first week of school, the cell phone policy is working as much as I've noticed. Although it does bring the morale of students down when they feel like they can't use their own personal belongings, or they'll be like heavily like chastised and punished for it. I think that students should be able to use their personal property to listen to music, which helps studying, to contact like parents and stuff like that if they're getting picked up. I think that using a cell phone is an important part of having autonomy, and should not be penalized like it is.
We'll keep you guys updated with how the policy continues in our building. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This week, we went downtown to the Vintage Cellar, a local antique store that's been open since 2015 in the heart of Northampton. We got the chance to talk with the owner and customers and explore all the unique oddities that it has to offer.
The items in the shop come from a variety of sources. Auctions, tag sales, estate sales. A lot of our customers, since they are trying to get rid of things from their parents or to kind of like get rid of clutter in their houses, they bring it to us. There's other vintage shops that I do business with across the country. So we do a lot of trading, and it's a lot of local sourcing too, but it's a combination of everything. What I think sets us apart from other vintage shops is we are really an eclectic collection of items. Everything that you would normally find in a normal vintage store, like home decor, small pieces of furniture, kitchen items. But then we have skulls and wet specimens and records and a lot of pop culture items, stuff that you just don't see anywhere else for the most part, at least in Northampton. Probably the most popular category in the store right now is clothing. There's been a big resurgence over that of the last 2 years that people look toward the circular economy of using what's already out there rather than buying new. So we've really exploded in clothing, t-shirts, jeans, windbreakers, sweatshirts. That has like literally taken probably like 30% of our sales. I think I'm really lucky to have a store in Northampton that has so much pedestrian traffic, but at the same time is a destination for the town itself. It has a bunch of colleges in the area. So you have the benefit of having students in the faculty, and this town, this area is very supportive of local businesses. There's more mom and pops than there are corporate stores, and that's where you want to be. That's where you want to have the business.
I choose a vintage seller because there's so many unique articles of clothing and like stuff that you wouldn't be able to find at other places. My favorite part is the bones collection, the collection of like animal skulls. I think the prices are what you'd expect for a store like this. They're on the pricier side, but it's what you're getting for what you're paying.
Yeah, I regularly shop here every time I come to Northampton, maybe like once a month. The prices are good, and I think the selection is good, and I like the, besides the clothes, I like I like little metal bits, and they have that. My favorite part of the store is the clothes, and I really like the downstairs section. The coolest thing that I found here was a pair of short cowboy boots that I bought for my friend that were really nice cream color, and they looked really good.
Thanks for watching. Stop by the Vintage Cellar at 11 Bridge Street or visit their website at vintagecellar.shop to find out more information. See you next time.
On Tuesday, September 6th, Sheriff Patrick Kaling was elected as the Democratic nominee for the position of Hampshire County Sheriff. He has over 5 years of experience as a sheriff and 30 years of experience working in the department. Kaling, a Leeds resident, collected 48.1% of the total votes, according to the Associated Press. Challengers Yvonne Gittleson of Goshen and Caitlin Sapita of South Hadley nearly split the remaining votes, with Gittleson getting 26.6% and Sapita 25.3%. Gittleson is continuing to run as a write-in candidate. We talked to East Hampton City Councilor Salem Derby about the role and the impact of sheriff in our local community.
So as a city councilor in East Hampton, I really don't have any sort of interaction with the sheriff other than through our connection with our local police department, because the Hampshire County Sheriffs actually have the local holding facilities, so when people get arrested, they end up going there. So it does affect our community, but we don't have any direct interaction. You know, as far as the sheriffs go, it's unique in Massachusetts how sheriffs work, because they basically just run the jails. In other places, they actually do police work. Mental health has become much more of a priority. I know that people who are coming into the jails who have problems with substance abuse or substance misuse are getting better treatment now. In fact, they're using even drug therapy to help people get off of what they are dependent on.
We also spoke with Yvonne Gittleson about her candidacy and changes she would make if elected.
I have a lot of changes I would like to make, starting with upgrading the technology and modernizing the facility. The Hampshire County Jail is woefully out of date. If you were to step in, if I were able to take you on a tour of the facility, you would feel like you were stepping back in time 25 years. But mostly, I need to change the culture there. The culture there is one where the staff and the people in custody, of course, as you might imagine, are so demoralized. There's just not much reason to want to do a good job and to work hard if you think you're never going to get promoted, if you think it's just not going to get better there, if you think you're not going to get the services that you need while you're incarcerated. So the culture really needs changing.
Sheriff Kaling did not respond by the time of this broadcast. The candidates now look to face off on November 8th. Thanks for watching.
On Saturday, the beloved local event, the Taste of Northampton, relaunched after an 18-year hiatus. Part of Main Street was closed to traffic as crowds tried the different palates of local cafes, restaurants, and breweries. There was also live music from a variety of popular bands, as well as a dance floor and an area to sit down and enjoy the food and music. This event was last hosted in 2004, with many restaurants in attendance that have continued to stay in business for the past 18 years, including Eastside Grill and La Veracruzana. We also spoke with some newbies to the event, like the Wine Witch and Roberto's, to get their take on the event and how it will improve their business in the future.
Wow, I think this is a great promotional idea, and I'm hoping that this sort of opens people's eyes that don't know we're here, that saw that we had opened but weren't sure what all those questions get answered by doing one of these functions. Plus the name gets out there, people from out of town find out about us, so it's pretty great.
I think this is just a really good event to bring people back into Northampton, and it's different. It's still the Taste of Northampton, but it's better. And this is amazing. It's great.
It's been, 14 years,
almost
15 years? Almost 20 years since the last Taste of Northampton. So this is it's a different place. It used to be behind Thorns. This is great the way it is. This is fantastic.
Oh, today's been great. We decided to put up a tent because this Taste of Northampton, I think, is a really fun event. It's a great way to sort of bring the downtown Northampton scene back into the forefront of people's lives after this long COVID thing that we've all been through, and it just feels like Northampton's back.
Thanks
Thanks for watching. If you missed the Taste of Northampton but wanted to go to the community event in the future, the Florence Night Out has been scheduled for Saturday, September 24th, and the Transcript will be there to cover it as well. Have a good weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Keep an eye out for future episodes and have a great weekend.